afternoon. Otherwise, mostly sunny, highs hit the mid-80s. By tomorrow, we warm things up and become more muggy. Highs flirt with about 90 degrees. We hang on to the heat for Friday and Saturday. Then a cold front shoves through the region Saturday, sparking showers and storms. That's the forecast on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Right now, 78 degrees.
The next KCJJ radio auction happens this Friday morning beginning at 6. For a list of items, see our website at 1630kcjj.com.
And it is Wednesday. It's the noon hour. That means it is time for Senior Talk, which is brought to you by the Solon American Legion and Senior Benefits. Here is your host, Rex Brandstatter.
Well, hi, Tommy. Good afternoon, everybody. Greetings and welcome to Senior Talk on this beautiful August day in Iowa. Boy, I'll tell you, you can feel the stickiness out there. So things are changing, going to get a little hot and muggy. But remember, folks, it's summer in Iowa, summer in August. I love it. All right. Great day to be a senior and a great day to be here with you today here on Senior Talk. Hello and thank you, each and every one of you, for taking time out of your busy day as a senior, and to those listening who are not seniors but maybe senior gonna-bees, I say good afternoon and welcome to you too. So, as you know, I do my best every week to bring ideas that might help and or be important to certain aspects of you, or become important to someone you know, or friends or family. And that's the important part of this of Senior Talk, is just bringing awareness to certain things that you might not have thought of, but you keep putting on the back shelf, which we're all famous for. We'll just kick that can down the road. We don't have to worry about it now. We'll do a little of this or that when we have to. But until then, you don't have any plans to help. It's things that you should be doing, could be doing. How does that sound? Well, we'll talk a little bit about that here on Senior Talk. We'll have a little time for some history. I've got something cooked up here today. And my best opportunity for you would be to pull up a chair, grab a sandwich, and a nice cold root beer, and let's see what we can cook up. My name is Rex Brandstatter. I'm a 76-year-old real estate broker, and I enjoy immensely meeting and talking with seniors and working with seniors. And I help lots of seniors sell houses and other properties. I work with estates. I work with the trust departments of banks. Attorneys call me to help solve issues with their clients, or clients might talk to the attorney and say, we want to talk to someone about some real estate. Those are the people who call me. Work with seniors seniors themselves, right at your kitchen table, right in my office, right at the coffee shop, or at your kid's house. Your kids might be 60 years old. I don't know. whatever that it takes. All sit down and have discussions. Because, you might not be wanting to move today, but, you might be having a family consultation about maybe down the road a little bit, maybe what we could do, what are our options down the road, a couple years, something like that. Not so much you care about this, but what are others doing? What have others done? That type of thing. What's the protocol, history about that? What's the protocol? And that's what I do best. And you can give me a call. I have a senior line to talk to you anytime at 319-330-5534. 330-5534. A lot of people call me, and we deal with different levels of real estate, from acreages to single-family homes, to 12-plexes, to apartment houses. That's what we do, commercial properties for sure. So they give me a call. Happy to talk to you, 319-330-5534. Let's see what we can do here today. With the big thing is the fact that I'm going to tell you right now that this weather is going good. And I know rain is on the way. We might get a little bit this afternoon. I'm not too sure about it. But what a shock, huh? Hot and muggy in Iowa. Go figure, we're going to do it. So, on a day like this, you come into Senior Talk, you think, well, everything is normal, just going to be a good old Senior Talk. Rex might be a nice guy. I don't know. You think he's a pretty good guy. But guess what? We are going to have a pop quiz today. Now, who in their right mind liked a pop quiz in, we'll say, high school? Absolutely nobody. Those are the days when you would get to school and think, God, I should have read that last chapter of that book. I'll read it in the first class, or I'll read it at the study hall. And you get there, and kaboom, it's a pop quiz on something, assignment you did not complete. You didn't read the last chapter. You didn't do this or do that. And all of a sudden now you are under duress with a pop quiz. So the things I'm going to talk about here today are things that we've talked about many times on Senior Talk. And I can tell you right now that a lot of you have called me to say you've solved number 9 or number 2, or you've addressed number 7, or you haven't done anything. You're going to kick the can down the road on things and let the next people worry about it, which in my opinion is a senior's way out, chicken's way out, so to speak. So let's just get started. You can't flunk. You can pass, but you can't flunk. The only reason to say you can't flunk is because I want to keep you upright and trying to solve some of these issues. All right, let's see how many you can answer correctly. We'll try to explain it. Do you know with 100% accuracy where the abstract would be for your house or duplex or your investment property? The abstract. What, Rex? What is the abstract? Well, the abstract is the history of of your house. Not who lived there, or it's got green shutters and a blue siding, nothing like that. It's the legal history of your property, who's owned it all along its lifespan, whose name and title is in now, the legal description, which is not 104 Main Street. The legal description would be Lot 4, Sunnyside Edition, Iowa City, Iowa. That's what the legal description. Well, they're an inch thick usually and legal size. Inch thick legal size is called the abstract. It is the history of your property. So my question is, with 100% accuracy, where is your abstract? Where are your abstracts? Mine are in a safe at home. All right, that's where I keep them. So we ever want to sell a property, I go down and pull out the abstract. Every property in Iowa has an abstract. We don't have one, Rex. Excuse me. We can take care of that. We can get one made. We can go to a couple of different title companies here in Iowa City, and they will make you one, and they will kindly hand you a bill for $500 or $600 or $700. So if you don't know where it is, let me give you some hints where you could call. Number one, you could call Johnson County Abstract Company, or you could call Hawkeye Title Company in Iowa City. And Hawkeye Title Company is probably the best bet. I shouldn't. They purchased 2 other abstract companies here in town, so they have a good possibility. Now they don't have it. Sorry, Rex. So I call them all the time. We don't have that one. Oh, rats. Now what do I do? Well, if you give me a call, I'll give you some good hints. You can call your attorney. You can call the bank where you bought it, but the banks don't really want them. They're an albatross, folks. Nobody wants the abstract in Iowa. Nobody wants to store them, except Hawkeye Title does, and they have them. So what that usually means for them is when you call down and you're going to sell your house, you have an abstract, they have it. You just have them bring it up to date. It's a good business decision for Hawkeye Title. Good for them. So there are 319-351-8600. If you don't know, call 351-8600 and follow along their answering machine and find out where your abstract, if it's there. If it's not there, give me a call. I just looking for one right now. It's at a lawyer's office in Des Moines because of the people have a mortgage from an online mortgage company, for God's sakes, and that company today they can't find it. So they'll be stuck with a bill if they can't find it. So that's where it is. That's question number one. I don't know how you did. I don't care. Let's see why you're doing it. Number two, you know exactly where your insurance policies are located for any and all properties. All right. Not only that, your insurance policies are any and all properties, but you know where your insurance policies are, maybe a life insurance or a, let's see, medical insurance, daycare, not daycare, care for long-term care insurance. You know exactly where those are. Well, I'm here to say I'm looking out there now. You're kind of looking at each other. Well, I think, and if you have to answer these, I think, then you did not do well on the test. Excuse me. You have to. I said, do you know exactly where they're at? So you should write that down. Number one, look for the abstract, and you don't want to give up on these things because sooner or later, as they would say, you're going to need them. Number two, you know exactly where your insurance policies are located for any and all properties. Bonus, if you know the amount of the deductible and the amount of coverage. Bonus, if you have met with your insurance rep to go over all policies to see what you really have. Now, my wife and I did that a year ago. I said, I've got this policy and that policy on this building and that property and this one, and here's what it is. And then all of our life insurance stuff and some investment things and things like that through an insurance company, I called the agent, and the agent came to my office. We went over everything with my wife sitting there. We went over policy by policy and what we have. Long-term care policies, life insurance policy, investment properties we have, investment policies we have with them, all those type of things. right at my desk. I'm their customer. Then we call our hazard insurance guy right here in town. Called and said, we want to meet. Okay, come on in. Took us into his office back there. Up on the board, he had a great big, I'm going to call it a giant TV screen. And they pulled up our policies, and you can see here's the property. He had a picture of the property, if I recall. And here's the amount of the insurance. Here's the deductible. Here's what we pay. Here's what you might want to consider. You might want to drop this and change over to this package now. Those guys sit around, and they got so many things going, they don't call you all the time. And you need to keep up to date. You need to keep your properties properly insured because, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what things are worth and you go looking for a new house or a different house, you're going to have kind of the shock of your life. So you better have your property insured for what your insurance people say. And they have surveys. They have reports on what it's worth. Give me a call. I'll give you an idea what I think it's worth, and you can tell that to your insurance guy, insurance lady, and they'll help you set different things, all right? That's for sure. You need to have a discussion with them. How you doing so far? All right. You have updated or created a will and advanced directives, in other words, for your health and finance, things like that, in the past 10 years or sooner. You have updated or created a will. Now, I see people looking at each other and, oh, God, Charlie, we got to do that. We've got to get down there and do it. Yeah, we'll take care of that. Well, that's position. That's why you don't have one, because you keep saying, yeah, we'll do that, but you never do anything. You pick up the phone, you call an attorney. Well, I think Attorney Jones helped us with that one. No, I think it was that Attorney Smith who helped us. Okay, get started, folks. Get started. There are terrible, tragic stories out there if you don't have a will. And they happen all the time, you can put your hands on the title to every one of your vehicles today. Now, you've got a car and an SUV, a motorcycle, and you have a boat. And what else could you have? A side-by-side thing. All right, you've got plenty of vehicles. Let's just say you're the average people like my wife and I, we got 2 vans. Oh, wait a minute. I got 2, I forgot. I got 2 vans and a Jeep SUV, and I have an old GTO. And, yes, I know exactly where the titles are. In a safe. A big folder. Under each one has a folder's name on it. They have the title. So if I'm gone, my wife can go down there, which she knows how to get into that safe. That's step 2. You got to make sure where you keep them that someone has access to it, someone you know and trust. So she could go down there and wants to sell my Jeep or my GTO. I have to be dead before she can sell the GTO, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. But the title is in there. So you need to know those things. You want to sell that boat, you're going to have a registration for the trailer and a license plate. You better know where that is, because if you don't, you're going to cost yourself a lot of time. And you're going to have to go to the courthouse 2-3 times. Not good. All right. You know what the assessed value of your home or properties are. What? Well, every year properties are assessed by the county assessor or the Iowa City assessor, depending on where you live, what jurisdiction you live in. There are 2 assessors in Johnson County. One of them is for everything in the city limits of Iowa City. And the county assessor is for everything if you live out in the country, if you live in downtown Solon, you live in Coralville, Oxford, anywhere in between. That's the county assessor. You can call their office. 356-6078, I think, is the county assessor, and 356-6066 is the city assessor. Or just go online to Google Johnson County Assessor or Iowa City Assessor. They have made a determination on your property, not on you, not on the kind of house, the car you drive, anything like that, not on education. They assess your property. They put a taxable amount value on your property. How many of you know what that is? Not many people do. You know, you can print that. They're down in the administration building at the all new and improved and revamped and recommunicated administration building at 900 South Dubuque Street. Go there. It's our building, taxpayers. And you could go to their office and say, I'd like to have you print a report on our house at 123 Main Street in Oxford. All right, they'll do that. Happy. You can go online to Johnson-County Assessor, I believe it is. Go there and or go to this administration. But they're happy to help you. You should know not only what they're doing on it, but they also have a list on there. They've got you down for 3 bathrooms. We only have 2. They've got you down for a finished basement. It's not finished. If you don't keep up to date, they're not shy. They'll just keep assessing until you squawk, okay? So get on it. It's up to you. It's up to you to do that. Boy, my dad used to beat that into my brother and I. It's up to you guys to run your life. It's up to you guys to take the initiative to figure these things out. Don't wait around for some, whether it's your assessment on your house or anything else. Don't wait around for anybody else to make decisions for you. Get right in the middle of it and see that you are happy with the decisions that are made for you by someone, as long as you're happy with it, whatever the case may be. All right? And then in the next sentence, you go, don't let anybody make any decisions for you. So there you go. All right, that's what I want you to do. You have spent time to determine a good investment plan for your hard-earned money, and or you work with a financial planner. You have spent time, in other words, you've had a meeting to determine the good investment plan for your hard-earned money. Folks, you work all those years, you're working every week, every day of the week. You get paid once a month, you get paid twice a month. You get paid on a commission whenever you sell. You never know when you're going to get paid, type of thing like that. You've got to have a plan. When I say have a meeting, I mean if there's a two-person household, you both sat down at the kitchen table with the TV not on or anything like that. No texting going on. Just talk money. Nobody in the family wants to talk about money. Nobody. It's not a topic of conversation. But you could be leaving and losing a lot of money on the table if you don't have a good investment plan, whether it's CDs, which are not flashy, but when you get to be a senior, they're not volatile. So if you put in X dollars in, it's going to be there plus a little interest, just depending on where you go. You need to have a plan. You need to do this. Don't kick this one down the road. Get busy, because if you wait 2 weeks or 6 months or a year, you've lost all that investment opportunity, meaning return on your dollar. So get busy, folks. And actually, once you get going, it's kind of fun, and you can start to, I don't know, we never had too many CDs, but now we kind of, the lady at the bank or wherever you want to go, your investment counselor said, why don't we do this? Why don't we what they call ladder them? They got all kinds of things you could do. I've used ladder, L-A-D-D-E, ladder, many times. What they all do is they all come, different CDs come due at different times. You can put some money into the pot with your investment people. Mutual funds that invest in different things. And folks, you worked for your money. You worked hard for your money. You worked long and hard for your money. Why not sit back and even if you're still working, let's have a plan where your money works for you. Just that simple. Your money works for you. You can do it. Absolutely. Get busy. How many of you know the license plate numbers to each of your vehicles? Why would we need to know that, Rex? Well, what if someone stole your car? You came out of the movie theater and your car is gone. G-O-N, it's gone. And you get on your handy-dandy phone, you call the police, someone stole our car. All right, Mrs. Smith, somebody stole your car. What is it? Well, it's a red four-door SUV thing. Well, okay, we'll keep our eyes open for a red four-door SUV thing. No. Here's what I suggest you do. Take your cell phone out into the parking lot, out in your garage, and take a picture of your car, your SUV, whatever you drive, and also capture a picture of the license plate. Well, what's your license plate, Mrs. Smith? Well, look it up. It's a BRD 649, and it's a red, you can put that right in the listing, right in your phone. It's a red Chevy Blazer, all right? 1992, 1909 Chevy Blazer, BRD 127. Now they've got something to go on. All you did have to do was take a picture of your phone. Is that too much to ask to stall off you're having a whole bunch of pain in the butt, we're going to call it, if you do that? No, that's not too much to ask at all. But guess who has to do that? You do. And that's about the easiest assignment I have today. I'm going to call it an assignment, is go take a picture of your car with the license plate and just keep it in your phone. You may never need it. I don't know. But if you do, you've got it because you walked out the door and took a picture. You got a picture, you got a boat, you got an SUV, and you got a little motorcycle thing. Do it. And all of those have a VIN number. Lots of things you could do in your safe at home and your important papers at home. You need to have that title if it's paid off. If not, the bank has your title. If you just bought a new pickup truck and you're paying payments to the bank, they have the title. You won't have it. Meaning, if you don't make the payments, they'll come and get it because they already have your title. Pretty standard, absolutely standard. Once you pay it off, then they say they'll send it to you, and then you've got title. You can sell it this afternoon or everything you want. You don't have to ask the bank anything because you own it. I'm just trying to streamline things here because guess what? We're going to talk about something here very shortly. You have made a list of people you rely on for yourself. What? Doctors this, doctor that, name of your attorney, contact list of family members you rely on, okay? And I've got a foolproof way to do this. This is the easiest thing going. Well, what are we going to do with the list? Here's what you do. Because not only do I want you to do that, have it of your doctor, and as you get to be a senior doctors, Dr. Smith is the cardiologist, Dr. Jones is the eye doctor, Dr. Wentworth is the ear doctor, all things like that. And sometimes it gets hard to make. So you type them up. See how old I am? Type it up. You write out, if you write it up or type it, and put on a piece of paper, obviously, and put it inside of a cupboard door. And open that cupboard to get out the dishes, and there on the left-hand side of the cupboard door is the list of all those people. Well, it's not. We don't have a telephone to put it underneath anymore. Everything used to be kept in the page of the phone book or under the phone. Well, we don't have that anymore. So where are you going to keep it? So just do this and tape it in there. Now, the other thing you could do with that, when you do that, is you could open up the other cupboard door or the same cupboard door, and there could be a list of the plumber's name, the plumbing company and their phone number, electrician who worked on your house or somebody you would recommend you call, your doctor's phone number, maybe again, maybe electrician phone number, because you got that. You don't have to take time to look it up. You just go there, open that cabinet door, and you've got all those names, right? Names and numbers. And all you did was take a few minutes to do this. I'm trying to get you to help yourself. That's all this is about. You could have your attorney's name on there on one of these lists and their contact number. And the list of family members you rely on. Something goes on at your house, whatever it might be, and you need to call your brother and your sister. You need to call 3 people and tell them something, good or bad, whatever it is. Their names and numbers will be right there. You can stand right there with your cell phone and call those numbers. You're going to call your brother Jeff, there's his number. Call your sister Jane, there's her number. And call your other sister Sarah, there's her number right there. It's been an accident, and I want to invite you to a birthday party. But whatever it is, good or bad, you've got it all in one place. All you did was a piece of paper, a pencil, and tape it to the interior of a cabinet door. Pretty easy stuff. I didn't come up with this. I saw this. Now let me lay this on you. I saw this. It's on a big church sign on 12th Avenue in Coralville, and here's what it says. It really got me thinking, and it's pretty darn important for what we're talking about. It says this: too late may come too early. Too late may come too early. And I don't know what that's going to be the topic for the preacher this week, the sermon. But to me, it says too late may come too early. Oh, we were going to do all these things, but it's too late because old Rex got run over by the cement truck this afternoon. He was working on that. That's too late now because he got run over way too early in life. Too late may come too early. I like that. Because to me, it throws up a flag that you need to do some things. I need to keep doing some things, and I work at it. All right? Too late may come too early. Well, let me ask you this. Speaking of too late, here's something nobody wants to talk about. Have you ever had a discussion with your family or your wife or your husband or your other, blah, 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 about pre-planning a funeral? Rex, I'm feeling good. Well, I'm glad you are. Hope you don't get run over by a dump truck this afternoon because it got ran out of shape, ran out of control. These are terrible things to think about, but these things at least pre-planning. And I give you another hint. You could call. There's 2 funeral homes in Iowa City, and you can call one of them. There are funeral homes in Lone Tree, and Solon, and West Branch. They're around. Go sit down with them. We're Mr. Smith or Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and we kind of want to take this time, as crazy as this may sound, we want to talk about pre-planning a funeral. They'll sit you right down. There's not a lot of expense, if any. Just depends on where you want to go, and they'll give you a sheet of paper. You can go to their websites. You can go to gayandshia.com. You can go to linsing.com. Pre-planning, and there's a drop down in there, and there's a big pre-planning guideline. You don't have to go visit anybody. You can fill it out the best you're not. You can fill it out and not return it, but just hand it to your wife, hand it to your husband, hand it to your family, make a bunch of copies. Say, here are my wishes. Here are my wishes. Now they got a heads up. You may live to be 102. I hope you do, as long as you're in good health. You may get run over tomorrow. Well, when you're gone, too late came too early. Nobody's going to want to know if you wanted a certain song played, if you always wanted to have your New York Yankee jacket on when you go, so you're welcome when you get there. Who knows what you want. You never said anything in writing. And that's the beauty part. That's the hardest part is talking about a will and the funeral arrangements. Do you want to be cremated? Do you want a casket? Or you better tell somebody. They'll do their own thing. And then they'll feel terrible the rest of their lives because they knew you didn't want to be cremated, but you didn't really say anything. So your last thing was you wanted to have a casket. So crazy stuff, but folks, it's going to happen. We need to plan for it now. Please think about it for sure. You know where your things should go in the same thing, but you never told anybody. Marge, when I go, if I ever go, I want my collection of paperweights, which I've seen a great paperweight collection before. I want those to go to the Paperweight Society of America, and they're in Des Moines. Or I'd like to have Johnny and Jim, our two grandsons, both come in and get all my fishing gear, which your wife's probably going to give to them anyhow, but at least they would say, Grandpa wanted you to have this stuff. There may be some people in your family you don't want to have some things. You want them to tell, nope, she doesn't get that, he gets that, or he doesn't get that, she gets that. A dining room table. The real nice hutch you kept. That's going to go to our granddaughter for sure. She's going to get married here and going to have a house, and she's going to get that. Well, tell somebody. Otherwise, it may not happen. But doesn't this sound crazy? And all we're just trying to do is get a little organized. That's all this is about, just get a little bit organized. And the other thing I want you to consider is, since so many of you have much stuff and you won't deal with it, let me give you a little hint here. Just go over to your junk drawer, open your junk drawer, and clean out your junk drawer. You'll see. That's a mini M-I-N-I way to do it. So you can see you're going to find stuff that's in there. I did it not too long ago, and I found 4 pocket knives I had no clue I even owned. I carry a pocket knife every day, and there were 4 of them. I didn't know I had them. But I've been in there for a long time. So that was kind of fun for me. You have spent time analyzing and discussing your living needs for now and conjecture in the future to the best of your idea. You have sat down and analyzed your living needs. Well, you know something? We no longer have a house payment. We don't have a car payment. We do have a payment on that SUV or a boat. Kind of go over your budget. Here's what it costs us to live here. We've got the taxes. We don't have the house payment, but we do have the taxes. And here's roughly our gas and electric every month. It's just kind of familiar. I bet you $1 the husband doesn't. If the wife pays the bill, the husband has no idea how much it costs to heat the house, or vice versa. No clue. My wife told me the other day that our cable bill is $347 a month. And I said, it's almost going to be the end of the cable bill. So here's what I did. Just to show you. I'm a pretty low-tech guy. I got a cell phone and a computer and text and all this kind of stuff. Email for sure. The standard stuff. But I'm scared to death to pull the plug on cable TV because all those cords, I don't know how. I'm living in fear that I'd get 2 remote controls and I'd have to deal with both of them, and not too good at that. So yesterday, a friend of mine came down because we talked about this. We were having a root beer. We were actually having a beer last Friday night. We were talking about the TV. We took a little survey. There were 8 of us there or so. How many have a streaming TV and how many have cable? And he and I and our family were the only 2 that still have cable. Everybody else has YouTube TV or this or that, and a Roku or a hot stick or something. I can't even tell you what all it is. So we decided we're both in our 70s. I know everybody's laughing at me. We're both in our 70s, and folks, we're running scared of this stuff. We don't have a clue. So we both got a flyer. This is true now, folks. We both got a nice catalog from Kirkwood Community College, and under the section of I don't know why I was looking at this section of, I can't even tell you what it's called, communications and stuff like that. There was a class on there for, are you ready to pull the plug? And it's a class for people who are scared to pull the plug on cable TV and go to something else like streaming. $49. It's a 3-hour class in Cedar Rapids in next month sometime. So we got talking about that, and he said, would you sign up with that? I said, I'll sign up if you will. We'll both drive up there. So we signed up yesterday. We're going. And I'll give you a report back. We're scared to death to do that. Oh, I know the section in the catalog was technology. I'm the last guy that needs to be reviewing the technology part in the catalog. but I did, and I'm going to learn something. All right. You made it through the quiz for this week, ladies and gentlemen. You made it through the quiz. You must feel pretty good about yourself. But you can only feel good about yourself if you've addressed most of these, not just part of them. Not just part of them. You have to address them all. Well, I've got something. Remember this term, too late may come too early, because we're going to use that here. All right. There's a current survey by the Johnson County Historical Society is asking which information or / program is most preferred by you. Urban information, business information, history of small towns in Johnson County. Well, that was a no-brainer. I want to know more about the history of the small towns in Johnson County. I want you to know that there's a very informative, put together many years ago and well-displayed color billboards out at the Johnson County Historical Society Museum in Coralville. And that's right there where you go see the hockey arena and all that. They're right next to the Iowa Athletic Club, diagonally across the street from 30 Hop. And those places right there, it's there. It's in the lower level. There's an elevator you can't miss. There's parking everywhere down there. They've got these billboards for all the little towns in Johnson County. I'm talking all of them. Solon, Lone Tree, Oxford, Swisher, Ely, all the little towns. They've got them all displayed there. Coralville, North Liberty, Tiffin, all the little dinky towns, we'll call them. And they've got the history there. They got some old photos on these billboards. So when I say billboard, I want you to think about taking a real estate sign you see in the yards that we all use and turning it so it's instead of left to right, there's top to bottom. And those things are in color. And they've got, like Solon's named after the Solon family. Believe it or not, it's the Solon family. Hills is named after the Hill family. Lone Tree is named after what or who? Named after a tree that was used for directions that was out in the middle of town, on the east side of town. There you go. So I want to know more about that, for sure. Stumptown, River Junction, all these type of things. I don't know that they have a billboard, but there's a lot of stuff there. So I want to know more about that, so they're going to be putting together some more program out there for that. Well, as speaking of that, I want you to do a couple things this week. I want you to take a drive to Oxford, and I want you to go out the Raritt Road or the Black Diamond Road. And if you have to look it up, go to it. Ask somebody where the Raritt Road is, Rohret, named after what's the name of the family. You got it, Raritt. They settled out by Oxford in the 1800s. The Raritt Road or the Black Diamond, you can figure that. Go up to Swisher and drive through downtown Swisher. Run over to Ely, for God's sake. Just a little. Solon, West Branch. They're just on the borderline of some of these little towns. Do that. You're just gonna enjoy it so much. And how about a good drive to Hills right down here on the Sand Road? There's a nice little place to get a hamburger down there. Yeah, go down, run down the Lone Tree. Now, speaking of that, these small towns, I want you to know that a lot of my relation way back in the day are from the Lone Tree area, rural farmers down around Lone Tree. And so I've been around Lone Tree a lot, certainly not as much as I didn't go up there. I didn't go to high school there. I have cousins down there, all that type of thing. A lot of them are gone, unfortunately, but that's the way it goes. But at one time, there was a world-renowned and world-famous farm implement, or actually kind of construction implement, made in Lone Tree, Iowa. And the following is true story, as everything is here on Senior Talk. I hear you're laughing out there, but this is true story. It's called the Zimmerman Steel of Lone Tree, Iowa. And they made what? Do you know what they made? What was manufactured by Zimmerman Steel of Lone Tree, Iowa? And later they moved to Bettendorf, and this is a 1900-ish card I have in my hand. They made what? I hear a couple of right. They made stump pullers. So what was going on? These guys were out there in the farm fields mostly, maybe building a building in downtown Lone Tree, and they had stumps there. Well, they didn't have the equipment back then to do anything. They didn't have chainsaws, so they have to get out the old Boy Scout axe and stuff like that, start chopping away. And some of these, you've seen a big tree comes down. Those stumps are, man, those things are big as a garage. They're huge. Well, the Zimmerman stump puller is a neat idea. And here's what you had to have. If they called you, old Bob's Stump Pulling Company, here's what you have to show up with. We got a stump out there, and that oak tree was it's 1.5 foot across. Well, now, of course, they have a stump grinder. Well, they didn't have that back then. These guys are trying to farm, and you got these stupid stumps out there. And so here I'm going to show up with going to have 2 big old horses, and I'm going to have about a rope, and I mean a really, really big rope. I'm talking about 75 feet long, something like that. And it's got to be about big around as your wrist or half a big around. A good solid rope, maybe not quite that big. Okay? And then you got to have yourself a kind of a pulley system. And what they do with this thing, and then on top of the pulley system, which sits flat on the ground like a lawnmower with no handle, just a lawnmower sitting there, they've got like a short telephone pole sitting there. And what they do is they hook that telephone pole up to the horses, and the other end is on top of that pulley system, and then they tie a rope from one stump to the other, and those horses go around and around a circle, and pretty soon something's got to give. Up comes the stump. The handy-dandy Zimmerman stump puller made by Zimmerman Steel of Lone Tree, Iowa, was worldwide known, and they sold it. They sold so many of them that they got bought out by the steel manufacturing in Bettendorf, Iowa. So they're right down there in Lone Tree. That's a really good historical fact to know. You could win yourself a root beer some night at a tavern by saying, where was a stump puller invented? The problem with stump pullers, it probably come and gone. I would bet you $1 that the Zimmerman stump puller in some fashion is used in, I don't know, Botswana or Peru, maybe out in the middle of nowhere or something like that. I'll bet you they've used the same ingenuity, and maybe they have one. So there you go, a little history about Lone Tree. Our little towns have, so much history. And you can get a good start on yourself by going out to the Johnson County Historical Society and go down there and tell them you want to look at. They've got all kinds of neat things for all kinds of our small towns here in Johnson County. They got great historical stuff in there. It's cool, but you could look at these placards and billboards that they have down there, and then you could go take a drive around the county. That is an assignment. And Rex lives in fear of gravel roads, so you don't have to take gravel roads if you just wander around and do it right. So that's the story. If you go to these small towns, remember there's merchants in these small towns. They certainly appreciate you stopping in and having a lunch, stopping in and get an ice cream cone. There's a grocery store there. I got to get some tomatoes. Well, stop at their grocery store and go in there and buy the tomatoes over there, okay? That's kind of fun to go in a different grocery store. You have no idea where anything is, and then you see stuff you didn't need but you buy. That's why my wife hates to have me go to the grocery store, because I buy stuff I don't need but I want. I'm a grocery store guy, greatest dream. Don't know what I want, and I go there hungry half the time to buy stuff. So that's what I want you to do. Got all these other things on this pop quiz we had. You've got some homework. And remember now, if you only start with your junk drawer, I've given you the easiest thing in the world. Start with your junk drawer. Start with your smallest closet and get rid of some things, because there will come a day, too late may come too early, that you just you missed the boat, and now somebody else has to make these decisions. So, with State Fair opening tomorrow, and a great thing, I think it's a great time right here in Iowa. It's a great time to be a senior for sure. Sometimes it feels like the world's going 140 miles an hour and we're over in a slow lane on an Amish buggy, doesn't it? But they don't care, and I guess if we're in that feeling, I guess we don't care either. So I want you to think about this. Since we don't know how long we're going to be here, how about we do this? How about we do all we can while we can? While you're still here, while you're in good health, hopefully. You want to become a walker. Once you become a walker, not get a walker, hopefully. Do that. Get started on some things. Do all we can while we can, because we just never know. Thank you to all veterans, everybody served our country who's serving. And hearts out to the people down in Georgia here today. So thank you to them. And call me anytime on my senior line, 319-330-5534. This is Rex Brandstatter from Senior Talk saying we'll see you next time. So long.
Hi, this is Tiffany at Senior Benefits. Are you confused with Medicare questions, anything having to do with Medicare? I take care of all Medicare customers, people under 65. I also do life insurance, long-term care, cancer insurance. I'm here to help you navigate any questions that you may be having or frustrations and